Welcome to the Red Carpet Movie Review.
Today we're going to review Mark Felt, the man who brought down the White House.
Ladies and gentlemen, live from Hollywood, California, welcome to the Red Carpet Review, starring the Showstopper, Shawn Valentino, also starring Rich Twilling. This week's special guest, supermodel Maddie Rose. Today we review Mark Felt, the man who brought down the White House, live from the red carpet.
Hey everybody, this is Shawn Valentino, your host on the Red Carpet Movie Review. And today we're going to review Mark Felt, the man who brought down the White House. Now this movie is directed by Peter Landesman and it stars Liam Neeson in the title role of Mark Felt. And not only that, it features an excellent supporting cast including Diane Lane, Bruce Greenwood, Josh Lucas, Tony Goldwyn. And I was really excited about this movie because it deals with a very fascinating subject in a crucial moment in America's history, and that's the Watergate scandal. And this film revolves around the story of Mark Felt, who is an FBI agent who is reaching the end of his run with the FBI. But around the same time, he begins to discover details of a scandal that will turn America upside down. And of course, that would go on to become known as the Watergate scandal. And of course, the main plot revolves around him revealing details to various reporters, and it becomes an incident that literally turns the White House upside down and changes the course of American history, and it leads to the resignation of President Nixon, which is the only time a president has ever resigned from his post. So again, you have some really fascinating subject matter to work with here, and you have a really great lead performance from Liam Neeson. I thought he was excellent here as Mark Felt. And of course, every time Neeson's on screen, he has a very strong screen presence, so just him being in this film alone gave it a lot of gravitas, and it made it very interesting for me to watch. And I'm also a big fan of Diane Lane, who's just a fabulous actress, and she plays Mark Felt's wife in this film. But unfortunately, her character is written very thin, and unfortunately that becomes emblematic of the entire film overall. It's very, very shallow, and if you don't know much about the Watergate scandal coming in, you're not going to learn too much here because it doesn't really dig that deep below the surface. And while this movie is supposed to be a very interesting political drama, the pace of events here are presented like it's Die Hard. This goes way too fast. And for a historical film, it doesn't showcase enough history, and it takes these really important events and it just kind of grazes past them, and it doesn't really present why they're so important. And it's extremely disappointing because this film had so much potential with the actors that were involved in this project, but I think it's really the screenwriting that lets the film down. And I have a feeling that if this wasn't a studio film, this might have been a much better movie, because I suspect that the studio wanted a shorter movie, and I think this is a film that should have been more around the 2.5 to 3 hour length. It has the right actors involved to keep you interested the whole way through, and it has the right subject matter that really deserves a lot of digging below the surface. And it could have made for some very interesting and educational film, because again, it has such a rich history to it, and it's such an intriguing subject matter that a lot of people don't know too much about, even though it did change the course of American history. But unfortunately, you don't get much of a history lesson here. You don't even get much of a movie here because it leaves out most of the important details around which this subject is based around. Hopefully there's a director's cut out there that really stretches the details of the story out and really gives this subject matter the respect that it deserves. But despite my issues with this film, I'm still going to recommend it because of the great performances, some excellent acting all around. From what I heard, Diane Lane's performance got cut down by the studio, which again confirms my suspicion that this would have been a much better movie if maybe an independent studio handled it, or if the studio just laid off and let it be a longer movie like it deserved to be. Because there are some attempts at balancing Mark Felt's family life with his place in political history, but unfortunately the scenes with his family are drawn so thin that you don't really get a sense of who he was as a person at all. That being said, I thought the cinematography on this film was excellent. I really enjoyed the dark color tone, the mix of shades of grays and blues. It really fit the haunting nature of the movie, and I really enjoyed this score. I thought it was a very ominous score, which added to the atmosphere of paranoia and scandal which permeated throughout the country at this time, especially revolving this Watergate scandal. So I thought this movie was a triumph of acting and atmosphere. But the irony is, although Mark Felt would go on to reveal himself as Deep Throat, the infamous informant that changed the course of American history and brought down the White House, this movie doesn't go very deep below the surface. And that's why, although I am recommending it, I'm very disappointed by this movie because I thought it could have been one of the best films of the year. And we here at the Red Carpet Review like to rate our movies on a 5-star scale. And I'm going to give Mark Felt, the man who brought down the White House, 3 stars on a 5-star scale. Hope all of you enjoyed this Red Carpet Review of Mark Felt, the man who brought down the White House. And we have one of our Watergate experts here, flown all the way here from Washington, D.C. Now, what did you think about this Red Carpet Review of Mark Felt, the man who brought down the White House?
Exactly.
Thank you so much for that expert opinion. The state of the nation is in good hands. And thank you so much for watching. Be sure to click that like button and press subscribe, and we'll see you next week on the Red Carpet.
Thank you for watching the Red Carpet Review. Proceed to click that like button and press subscribe for weekly movie reviews past and present. We'll see you soon on the Red Carpet.